I hope you got your diaper on because Samsung just officially revealed their 2024 OLED monitor lineup, and let's face it, fellas, all previous enthusiast displays just got crushed. Why? Well, pull your finger from out of your cheeks and pay attention because I'm about to pound through these specs. So, courtesy of flatpanelshd.com, we have all the specs listed out here in a nice format. Of course, I'll have them linked in the description below, but taking a look here, we have 3 different monitors which have been unveiled thus far. We have a 49-inch, a 32-inch, and a 27-inch monitor. Now, these are all quantum dot OLED, but they do differ quite substantially in their specs otherwise. So the 49-inch is going to be a 32:9 aspect ratio, 5120 by 1440, 240 hertz curved display, probably an 1800R curve again, and this just seems to be basically a refresh of their OLED G9. Why they're doing that, I have no idea. Maybe they found some cost-saving measures, but the official name of this one is the OLED G9 G95 SD. So yes, it is going to be a little bit different. Apparently, also, I will mention all these displays will have 2 HDMI 2.1 ports and 1 DisplayPort 1.4. So great to see HDMI 2.1, but unfortunately no DisplayPort 2.1. What are they thinking? It's time to boycott. Get out the torches and pitchforks. Okay, realistically, is this a big deal? Not really. Of course, HDMI 2.1 with DSC or display stream compression is enough to get all of these monitors the amount of bandwidth they need, and DSC is also considered to be visually lossless. So again, not a huge deal, but for NVIDIA owners, you will want to pay attention because without DisplayPort 2.1, some of these displays may not be able to reach their full refresh rate without DSC, and NVIDIA has issues with DSC at the moment. They're apparently looking into them, as they've said to me, and I think they're actually working on it now, but whether or not they can actually fix it, who knows? I would certainly hope so since they're a pretty big company, but we will see. Now, moving on, apparently they all are going to have Tizen OS as well, and to be honest with you, I don't care. That doesn't really make it any better or worse for me, but let's move on to the monitors, which you guys have all been waiting for. That's right, first starting off with the 4K model. This is going to be the OLED G8 G80 SD, and my God, they are going to have to come up with some other names because yeah, continuing to use the OLED G9 and G8, this is going to get real messy as the years go by, but whatever. This is a 32-inch, 16:9, 4K, 240 hertz quantum dot OLED display. By the way, they're all going to have AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. That does not mean it won't work with G-Sync. G-Sync will work with FreeSync, so don't worry about that. This one's going to be a flat panel, and this is the one that I think a lot of people are going to be waiting for. This will be absolutely incredible. Not only will you get the fantastic HDR that quantum dot OLED can give you with the best color volume at high brightness that I have ever seen, as well as the pixel-perfect local dimming and pure blacks that you can get out of these displays, but these should also all have a glossy finish as well. But let's move on to the last display here real quick before we talk about that, and that's the OLED G6 G60 SD. This is the 27-inch version, 16:9, 1440p, this time 360 hertz. I think this will be a hugely popular display among the esports crowd because, to be honest with you, the motion performance of this is going to blow everything away. And if you can enable some sort of constant brightness option within the display, I really think this will be fantastic for esports gaming. But let's talk about those finishes, boys, because that's right, there's been some panic around the finish of these displays. There have been some images, as you can see here, that make it look like the 32-inch and 27-inch versions coming out from Samsung are going to be matte, because the only displays which look this god-awful in the light are going to be matte finish displays typically. However, that's not 100% true, as the glossy finish they use on these displays do handle ambient light pretty poorly. They do kind of glow, so that is definitely a possibility, but this does look a little bit like it is a matte finish, doesn't it? I mean, you look and it's got that really grayed out look to it, and it is definitely a red flag. However, I want to reassure you guys that I find this to be pretty unlikely. Not only have we seen both Alienware as well as Asus show their versions of this exact same panel, and they have both been definitely glossy. I can confirm that. but also it would be really strange if Samsung spent extra money to apply an awful finish on top of an already complete finish. It makes no sense, and then everybody else isn't. That would be really, really bizarre, and they've also never done this to an OLED display before because they're not stupid, guys. They're not going to ruin their displays. If they do, wow, I'm going to be shocked. So yeah, if these have a matte finish, it's going to be definitely avoid them, go for somebody else's. But I don't think that's going to be the case, and I think this is just a trick of the light. So there you have it, guys. All of the monitors unveiled thus far. I will be covering these at CES. Thanks to your guys' support over on Patreon, I can go to CES once again, so if you want to support me and my work, please go ahead and check out my Patreon link in the description below. Also, make sure you're subscribed, as I will be covering a ton of Quantum.OLED and WOLED monitors coming out over CES. Whether you're looking to connect a new console, gaming PC, or just need a fast and reliable HDMI cable to connect over long distances, Rupro has you covered with their certified 8K HDMI 2.1 fiber optic cable, available in sizes of up to 50 feet and can deliver a perfect full 48 gigabits per second connection over distances other cables could only dream of reaching. And with 48 gigabits per second of bandwidth, it can easily drive 8K 60 FPS or 4K 144 FPS 10-bit HDR video through its ultra-thin, flexible, and durable housing, and it even supports ER. So if you're in the market for a cable that can drive a beautiful new TV or monitor, be sure to check out Rupro on Amazon today.